And ladies and gentlemen, just about time to welcome in a new year in Zaggville, and what a better way to do it than with one of the best college basketball programs in the country. Zags now ranked number 7. They are 12-2 on this season, and they welcome in the Roadrunners of CSU Bakersfield. Happy New Year to everyone watching tonight. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. It's been like a demolition derby inside Zaggville now for almost 2 weeks, it seems like, guys. Is this round 4 of a demolition derby tonight?
Well, it very well could be, although I think Bakersfield does present a much more difficult challenge than the last 3 opponents. This all coming, though, after a brutal early season stretch where Gonzaga only had 2 hiccups against Tennessee and against North Carolina.
Now, Mark Few has made his living here with Gonzaga basketball in the offensive end. He loves to get the score up high. Richard, is this his best offensive team that he's ever had?
Yeah, I think it is. They average about 94 points a game. They are a handful on that end of the floor. Rui Hachimura turned himself into one of the most dynamic offensive players in the country, averaging better than 20 points a game. And is there a bigger transfer out there than Brandon Clark? Shoots better than 70% from the field. And Josh Perkins has put together one of the best senior years in Gonzaga history. Turned himself into one of the best point guards in the country. And then finally, defensively, you start to see it all come together. Over the last 3 games, Gonzaga's held teams to under 20% from the three-point line. And it's really been Brandon Clark who gives you better than 3 blocks a game. He sets the tone defensively for GU. We're starting to see a Final Four caliber defense from Gonzaga as well as to the offensive side of the ball.
And this is why tonight could be different. The Roadrunners have won 5 in a row. They're a team that's going to climb up in your grill from opening tip to the last horn, gentlemen. This could be different tonight.
It very well could be different, and a lot of it is because, just as you mentioned, they're going to get after you 94 feet, mostly man. They've got the athletes, they've got the speed, the athleticism to really create some problems. They force 16 turnovers a game, led by this guy right here, Jarkel Joyner, coming off a career-high 24 points against Portland State the other night. He is a 6'1" guard out of Mississippi that could give Gonzaga problems. They're going to have to do a really good job on him this evening.
The Roadrunners and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Starting lineups, tip-off, up next, live from the McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, Washington. Happy New Year's to everyone. Let's get 2019 off to a great start. Back in a moment. Hoops is brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. The clock never winds down at Northern Quest with 24/7 gaming, great restaurants and lounges, movie theaters, luxury rooms, and more. Details at northernquest.com. And a toasty-looking image from downtown Spokane. You see the ice ribbon there in the background, and inside the McCarthy Athletic Center, fans of all ages ready to say goodnight to 2018 and welcome in a brand new year. Here is tonight's Numerica Credit Union starting lineups. For Gonzaga, it's Perkins, Norvell Jr., Hachimura, Kispert, and Brandon Clark. And for the Roadrunners, it's Jarkel Joyner. We talked about him in the open. Ricky Holden, Justin Edler-Davis, James Suber, and Greg Lee. And their head coach, been in the business a while, now in his 8th season with Bakersfield, is Rod Barnes. 126 wins, 110 losses. But gentlemen, he demands a lot from his basketball teams.
He's going to have them playing hard from opening tip till the final buzzer.
Of course, the head coach for Gonzaga is Mark Few. He's been through a few of these New Year's Eve games. So have you guys played in some beauties over the years in your careers. Against St. Joe, I remember you hit a big shot, and then the following year, Richard missed a big shot. I remember that.
Well, you just couldn't help yourself. I think I was fouled on the shot.
Yeah,
of course you were.
There wasn't a defender within 8 feet.
I love how we get that out of the way early.
The over-under was 5 minutes in, so you had the under, you won.
Anyways, Jameer Nelson was thankful, Richard. And we're underway. Roadrunner basketball to begin. Gonzaga, CSU, Bakersfield.
You see a Bakersfield team that runs a lot of pick and rolls. They really want to do a good job getting the ball side to side. They look high-low, very similar to Gonzaga after they get to that second side.
One thing I'm seeing right away, they don't have a big dominant post player, but their guards are big, gentlemen.
Yeah, they've got good size, good athleticism as well. And this is a team in Bakersfield that shoots the ball pretty well from three.
Joyner for three. That rimmed out. Norvell Jr. the rebound.
Not a bad defensive possession for GU, but from CSU Bakersfield, they need to get something going to the rim. They can't just be content to pass the ball around the perimeter as Clark misses the corner jump shot.
Holden, number 2 for the Roadrunners, yelling out red. So a reset here and a new play on the way. This is Holden. Step back, Clark there. Left it for Lee. He's got a size advantage on Perkins. Shot up, no good. Rebounded Kispert.
2 empty possessions for Bakersfield, but you see they're not feeling rushed by Gonzaga's pressure. Very patient, methodical offensively. That's, you know, didn't come up with the bucket, but still you forced GU to defend. You can be able to get back defensively as well.
Clark going to work. Double team comes. Back to Kispert. Open 3. Off. Rebounded. Well, it was rebounded by Ricky Holden, but his foot nicked that end line, so possession goes back to GU. Should point out that Gonzaga has outscored its last 3 opponents 87-17 in the first 10 minutes in each of those 3 games. Neither team scoring here yet, as we near almost 2 minutes in. Say that again, 87-17. They've outscored their last 3 opponents in their first 10 minutes.
Well, Gonzaga's done a great job getting into teams pressure-wise defensively early on. As they do that again, they're forcing the turnover with the travel on Holden. But, you know, the defense has been pretty consistent over the last 3 games, but the offense has been absolutely explosive. The Denver game.
Yeah, but so much of that offense is coming off of turnovers, forcing tough shots.
Sure.
You don't get out on the break. Gonzaga's as dynamic as anybody in the country, converting from that defensive end back to the offense.
2 turnovers now in Bakersfield as Rui tried to reverse it, and he'll shoot free throws. But 2 turnovers for the Roadrunners, and they're 0 for 2 to start the game. Gonzaga 0 for 3. And Hachimura now at the line.
Gonzaga's gotten looks that they want. They had a nice isolation off the block with Clark. He came up short, and then they doubled the second possession. Kispert did a nice job getting into open space. Didn't knock it down. Those are the shots that, you know, you're going to live with early on. You're just going to have to knock them down eventually.
And I think both Clark and Hachimura need to get used to it in a hurry, which is getting double teamed. You're going to see a lot of that in conference play with some of the undersized WCC teams. They need to be decisive with those passes. That was a good look from Clark out to Kispert, just didn't knock it down.
And it should open the door for a lot of players. I mean, this program has been built on inside out, right, over these years.
You know, it's got the moniker Guard U years ago, but it really changed over the last 15 years or so. I mean, this program has been built playing inside out, getting the ball to good bigs on the interior, and then letting the guards play off of that.
Shot off by Holden, but a foul called inside on Josh Perkins. That'll be his first, team's first.
Well, Josh has got to stay out of foul trouble this evening with the pressure that Bakersfield is going to bring. He's got to do a good job staying out of foul trouble, because then you get the question is, who's Gonzaga's next primary ball handler? Because Gino Crandall still doesn't look like he's back ready to go.
Here's Holden driving at Clark. And a foul called as Clark may have gotten him with the body.
Well, Coach Few doesn't like the call.
I don't either.
Holden, great job attacking the switch on the pick and roll. And then a lot of times when you know a big who has shot blocking ability is attacking you at the rim, you've got to search out contact. You can't go in with the same rhythm footwork into a layup. Holden, a nice job getting Clark slightly off balance, drawing contact, getting himself to the line.
I'm just impressed. Holden 5'10". What in there, fearless.
He's an 80% free throw shooter as well, 40 out of 50 on the season.
That's a big difference for tonight for Gonzaga versus, say, UT Arlington, DU, with some really young backcourts. Holden, a senior, he's seen a lot.
And our first turnover for Gonzaga is Holden was there trying to create it.
That's what you see when you get a chance to get to the free throw line. You can really set your full court pressure. Sometimes Gonzaga doesn't take care of it. Norvell loses it off his hands out of bounds.
Here's Joyner. Holden.
See another switch on the pick and roll. We're going to figure out, you're going to go down and help Perkins.
And that's number 2 on Josh.
Yeah, but see that right there. You know you're going to switch. Josh has got to fight to a front a little bit sooner, and everyone else has to see that, understand that. They're trying to post Josh up your guard. You're not used to guarding that. You've got to be ready to get into double and rotation earlier.
Yeah, and that's the risk of Gonzaga's switching defense is against a good team, against a good point guard, which Holden is. He's going to be able to search out those switches. And right there, that was an excellent, good patience as a point guard. Drew Clark out a little bit, opened up that dump down on the low block. And GU's likely going to have to go without Perkins here the rest of the first half. Still have 17 left to play.
And credit to Greg Lee for identifying the mismatch and being aggressive.
And here comes that pressure for CSU Bakersfield. See how GU handles it this time.
Here's Norvell.
Expect them to really climb up and pressure Norvell, because he can make point guard plays, but it's one thing to make point guard plays as opposed to bringing the ball up under pressure like a point guard is used to.
Hachimura got it to Norvell. Zach's first shot in and out, poked away, picked up, and back comes Ricky Holden. Well, if anybody at home was wondering if tonight was going to be different, they now know, and so do these Zag players. They knew in the first 2 minutes of this game, we got a different game tonight. Holden step back over Hachimura.
And he can do that, 37% on the year. And just what patience. That's the ideal possession for Bakersfield. Run it down to 6-7 seconds on the shot clock and get his jump shot.
Kispert missing at the other end.
That's the shot that Bakersfield wants. A quick transition 3, not a great look there. They want to climb up in you defensively, and then on offense, they're going to be patient. A big win for them at Portland State the other night. Portland State plays as fast as anybody in the country, held them to 71 points.
Holden driving on Rui. The kick out. Edler Davis throws it away. Norvell Jr. in transition lay-in. And that arouses Zagville.
I was just going to say, this is the loudest I've heard the crowd in 3 or 4 games. A big part of that is the fact that the kennel's not here with the students being out for Christmas break.
Pretty evident here. CSU Bakersfield's going to milk the clock every time down if they can.
3 turnovers now for the Roadrunners. Here's Lee again with Norvell on him. Missed the shot. Jones with the rebound. And Norvell now pushing. Here's Clark. He'll shoot 2. As he was fouled by Justin Edler Davis. 14:54 to play first half. The McCarthy Athletic Center has come alive. This is Holden for 3 for Bakersfield. Then the Zags defense creating some points as well. Back in a moment. And welcome back to time now for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino.
Gonzaga needs to handle the pressure. Bakersfield averages forcing 16 turnovers a game. So far, 3 turnovers for Gonzaga.
Yeah, look, for Gonzaga, they've got to really take care of the defensive glass. This is a Roadrunner team that gets about 14 offensive rebounds per game. Gonzaga's struggled on the defensive backboard at times this year.
And put a bow on it, gentlemen. Zags are 32-14 in 2018 from January 1 to December 31st. 32-4. Wow. Chance to get to 33-4 tonight. That's what I mean by putting a bow on it.
That is.
Brandon Clark. This guy's been money.
He has been. Richard touched on it in the open, how good a transfer he has been. He has been impactful. Shoots over 70% from the field while averaging 17 and about 8 rebounds.
Now the Zags turning up some pressure. Rui!
Three-quarter court. Forced a turnover. Really getting out in transition.
6-0 run for Gonzaga. They have an 8-6 lead. Still the pressure. Number 23, Damian Durham, on the floor for the Roadrunners, as is number 25, Darren Person. Person on the post. Wanting the ball there, didn't get it. Joyner drives. Zags defense cuts it off, and there's the shot clock violation.
A much better possession there. Early the first 5 minutes, Gonzaga was switching every ball screen, which led to a lot of confusion. That time they stayed at home, but when you get three-quarter court pressure, get out in the passing lanes, and you can do that, you don't have to worry about communicating switches out or not.
5 turnovers now on CSU Bakersfield. Here's Norvell with Perkins still on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. Philip Petrushev sets the screen. Norvell drives, draws the foul. The shot was blocked in there by Darren Person, a redshirt freshman out of Fresno, but free throws coming for Mr. Zach Norvell, who, guys, hasn't had one of those big, explosive offensive games now in a bit.
They had 20 the other night.
Yeah, but that's not big. It was quiet. That's what I mean.
It wasn't in a barrage
spread out
type.
over a game.
Yeah, you're talking about, you know, the Creighton game where he had 28, and I believe 24 of them came after halftime. You're right. He's a guy who can absolutely score in bunches.
Zach. Kind of a quiet assassin. But man, is he loud on a basketball court. Person driving. Jones got there and took the charge.
Jones with some courage there to step in.
That's the football guy in him right there.
Let's see where his feet are. Is he outside? That would not be a charge, guys. That would be a block.
You can't say enough about Jeremy right now.
He still stood in front of it.
Yeah. Tip the cap to him, but that would be a block.
Petrushev, here's Jones. Norvell. Zach, another hard fall. And more free throws. Boy, you can't break that guy.
No, he searches contact when he's heading towards the rim. He wants to shield the ball from the defense, get that shoulder into you, and get himself to the free throw line. You know, so much of that comes from growing up in Chicago, playing at the great Simeon High School, where there's been many pros over the years. He's grown up, you know, playing against college-level guys and NBA players and European professionals in the summer. He knows how to create contact, shield the ball, and finish.
And he knows how to fall, right? I mean, that's a skill. It is.
Lots of practice, yeah.
You fall soft.
Yes, you figure out how to fall.
I don't want to see how you fall, that's for sure.
You know, Dan, we'll let you get one of those in before the year's out. Kispert on the floor. Called a timeout. (11-6), 13:28 to play first half. Listen, Zags are not going to get out of 2018 without another really physical basketball game tonight. You can already tell.
No, look, the Roadrunners, they don't have a lot of size, but what they do is they try to get up into you. If they can, you know, either a dead ball, made basket, they'll look to press you, and then defensively, they really try to guard you on the three-point line. Norvell's done a nice job tonight. He's not settled or tried to drive away from pressure. He's driven the Roadrunner pressure, got himself to the line. If you're Gonzaga, you've got to put the ball down, expect contact offensively, and I love the press look. We've seen it now the last 3 games against some lesser competition. And maybe didn't, you know, you're not playing against the best competition. As a result, the press may not be all that impressive. However, you can see those reps are paying off tonight. They've really bothered the Roadrunners.
And it's important because at some point, you know, in postseason play, you're going to have to change up your defense and give the opponent a different look. I really like the fact that they've been working on that.
The officials are over at the table. Obviously, you see that at home. Trying to get something worked out. They're trying to see who had possession after the turnover, huh? Sure looked like it was in Kispert's hands.
They gave Kispert the timeout.
I believe they're looking at the shot clock. After the steal by Norvell after Kispert poked it away, and then diving on the floor for the loose ball. Did he have possession, and at what point?
Could they give Kispert this timeout?
Yeah, so he has possession. They just sent the teams over to the benches.
Well, there's 22 seconds on the shot clock. That clearly didn't, that 8 seconds didn't lapse there.
No, it should
From
be
the point Kispert picked up the ball. So I think they're trying to figure out perhaps what the shot clock should be.
But if they consider Norvell with possession, right? Kispert at the very latest with possession. Should have been a new clock.
Oh, they're going to do 27 seconds now.
Okay.
Just listen, Greg, and you'll be fine.
Oh,
Stop being so argumentative.
Wow.
Jeez Louise, man.
What's she got to do with it? Wow, we're going to go out with a bang here in 2018.
We hope to see you after the new year.
Petrushiev from the corner. And a rebound by number 4, James Suber.
Not a good look. Really early in the clock.
Well, he just checks into the game. I think might have been his one trip down.
You wouldn't say that if it went in.
Well, even then, it would be one of those shots where a coach would say, no, 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 yes. I mean, so many times you have to understand, you come in the game, you've got to get in a little bit of a flow before you start shooting that.
And that shot by Durham was off. That's a guy who's made 286 threes in his career. He's 4 shy of the WAC all-time three-point made shots record.
Takes about 8 a game. He's a guy Gonzaga's going to have to stay attached to. 70% of his shots come from behind the arc.
Here's Petrushiev. Rui trying to go back door, back to the post. Phillip traveled.
You can see the pressure that Bakersfield is applying. Gonzaga has got no flow offensively. A lot of it has to be attributed to Perkins being on the bench with 2 fouls, but usually that continuity ball screen offense is good to Gonzaga. They haven't flowed into it well this evening.
2 turnovers for Gonzaga as Joyner drives. Shot was blocked by Jones. It's off of him out of bounds, and Roadrunner basketball. 16 on the shot clock.
Joyner's been quiet this evening, has yet to score. He's an ultra-aggressive guard, as you see on that possession. 24 the other night against Portland State, a career high.
Durham off the catch. And a foul inside against GU. Is this on Rui?
Yeah, Subar is just an animal on the offense.
It's on Petrushiev.
Yeah, it's better than 3 a game. This is, again, a team in the Roadrunners that they go out and try to go get the ball on those jump shots. Suber leads the charge for them with over 3 a game. You saw right there what he could do.
4 fouls on Gonzaga. First on Petrushiev. Holden with Kispert guarding. Rui there now. 10 on the shot clock. Joyner drives. Missed the shot. Jones with the rebound. Boy, he gets his money's worth when he goes to the rim. Norvell with patience finds Jones. Deflection. Petrushiev. Oh, I think that was off of Phillip. The possession will stay with Gonzaga when we come back. 11:47 to play in the first half. Zags leading the Roadrunners by 5. And ranked 2nd in the nation in what statistical category? Points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, or blocked shots per game? Text your answer to 27297.
I gave you a hint, fellas.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think Richard gave you the answer if you were paying attention in our open. Greg, were you?
I was paying attention, but I didn't hear it. Here's Hachimura. Oh. Offensive foul called on Rui. That's number 2 on him.
This is not...
Actually, just 1 on Rui. I'm sorry, just 1.
This is not the offensive performance Gonzaga is accustomed to as Rui gets called for the charge. Gonzaga now 2 of 8 from the field, 3 turnovers. Bakersfield's even worse, 1 of 9 from the field, 7 turnovers. So an ugly game here to start.
And Bakersfield turns it back over. I'm not sure I agree with that foul on Rui. Sure seemed like Edler Davis just kind of collapsed defensively and fell over.
And sometimes as a defender, you feel a little bit of contact. You feel as if you're in the correct position. You've got to sell it to the official. It did look as though Rui slipped, but good job by Edler Davis selling it.
Here's Clark, Kispert, Rui, Kispert off the catch. Oh, Jeremy Jones up high for the tip.
Activity on the weak side there from Jones.
Oh, he came from nowhere, Dan Dickow.
Yeah, that was great. Richard mentioned it earlier. Rui and Brandon Clark going to have to get used to double teams. Again, a nice decision finding Kispert on the double down.
Nice rebound by Edler Davis. Off the Durham miss and a new clock for the Roadrunners. Holden drives, got to the rim, missed the shot, loose ball. Jeremy Jones doing everything for Gonzaga. He's been the glue guy. Here's Norvell. And another foul on Gonzaga.
Yeah, Kispert with the push
Easy
back.
one.
Here's Jones. You know, Greg, you said it. Jones just seems to be at the right place at the right time. Kispert misses the three, and Jones from the wing. Nobody puts a body on him. Comes in with a nice tip, and then comes in with the defensive rebound, the last defensive possession for GU. Jones is such a nice guy to come off your bench. You can put him in a variety of positions, multiple spots, either offensively or defensively. He fixes a lot of your problems when you're dealing with foul trouble and the like.
He reminds me of what Mike Hart brought to this program in his tenure. He always seemed to be in the right place, the right time, always knew where the ball was coming off the rim.
Yeah, team first.
It's impressive.
You could tell other guys gravitate towards Jeremy and his personality.
And bucket there for James Suber, and that ends a nearly 5-minute field goal drought for CSU Bakersfield.
Perkins, interesting decision by Coach Field. Bring him back in with 2 fouls, 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, you've seen offensively, Gonzaga's just had a really tough time.
Clark, I think, was hoping for a foul there, didn't get it.
Durham came over. That's excellent help from the weak side.
Step back.
Man, step back was it? He's got a green light when he comes in off the bench.
That was just a 2, though, I believe.
For him.
Leads the Roadrunners in field goals attempted coming off the bench. One of the best 6th men in the country and really fill it up.
That was just a 2, not a 3. 13 on the shot clock. Norvell into the paint. Here's Jones. Shot is off. Clark keeps it alive. Rui with it. And the finish.
Well, what's funny about Bakersfield is they're almost daring Gonzaga to shoot from the outside. They're sitting in the lap of the post. When the ball gets into the post, they're doubling. Gonzaga is going to have to start knocking some perimeter jump shots down.
Tajay Moore off the glass. I heard him call it.
You got some good ears then.
I do. Fantastic. Like top 1 percentile stuff.
How about this?
Loose ball, another turnover. Number 4 for GU. Unable to finish was Joyner, and look who it is. Jeremy Jones is everywhere for Gonzaga right now.
Missed opportunity for Bakersfield there in transition. I'm sure they'd love to have that one back. But I tell you what, CSU Bakersfield has to be thrilled. 4 of 15 from the field and only down by 3 with 8.5 left. It's been their defense.
Yeah.
If you can guard the way they do, you can weather the storm offensively when you're having a tough time, and they've done that tonight.
Could you imagine if they haven't turned it over 8 or 9 times like they have?
Here's Jones for 3. Jeremy Jones with 5.
He's going to have to do that tonight. Bakersfield clearly doesn't respect Jones' jump shot. They'd much rather give him open looks than give up those dribble drives by either Clark or Hachimura. So he's going to have to step up with confidence and knock some of those down.
He can do it. 5 points, 5 rebounds now for Jones. Durham again missed everything. Petrushev has it poked out of bounds, and it's off of Darius Williams. Zag basketball when we come back. 7:55 to play here in the first half. Quite a different feel than it's been the previous 3 games in the McCarthy Athletic Center. But Jeremy Jones, the star of this first half for Gonzaga. And welcome back. Number 12 lead over CSU Bakersfield. Here's tonight's trivia answer to tonight's Arby's fan trivia question. Gonzaga currently leads the WCC and ranks second in the nation in what statistical category? It is points per game at 94.1 points per game. It leads the WCC. It is second best in the nation. $7:55 to play here in the first half. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox wishing everyone a happy New Year's. I think 2019 is going to be a tremendous year.
Generally or specific Gonzaga?
I just know generally.
Okay.
Just generally.
Great.
I hope it is.
I think things are looking up for you, Richard.
I appreciate that.
It's pressure by Bakersfield. Deny the dribble handoff on the wing.
Look how far they out on the ball and then just denying the three-point line. You know, what they lack in size, they make up with a ton of quickness.
Perkins missing from the elbow. The long rebound goes to the Roadrunners. And again, the penetration. There's the travel. Edler Davis turns it over.
Yeah, that's
turnovers now. But, I mean, their defense, the offense has been one thing for them. Struggling shooting it at 25% from the field, 9 turnovers now. But their defense is keeping them, you know, within distance to make this interesting.
And they're out rebounding Gonzaga at 13-10.
They just got to take care of the ball. Gonzaga's got 11 points off of those turnovers you mentioned, Dan.
Now you double.
Oh, wide open is Perkins. Great find by Norvell.
Yeah, you just tipped your cap to Norvell there. Found the open man against a ton of pressure. And when you do pressure as much as the Roadrunners do, you are going to give up a few buckets every night. They'll live with that given the amount of turnovers that they create.
Blocked by Petrushев. Here comes Perkins. Clark was posting up. Josh left it short. And he takes a tumble. Here's Holden. This is Williams. Edler Davis. 13 on the shot clock and a reset for the Roadrunners. Here's Moore. 4 on the shot clock. Edler Davis with the jumper. Norvell Jr. the rebound. Here's Jones. Oh. Count the bucket. Jeremy Jones.
And that's how you combat a defense that gets up and climbs into you, is you get a defensive stop and you push it in transition. Norvell up to Jones and then take it directly at the rim, expect the contact, finish, chance of the three-point play. Great finish, Jeremy Jones.
Wow.
Jones, 7 points, now 11 minutes here in the first half.
7 of the 22, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not at 40 points.
5 rebounds, and reminiscent of the Illinois game in Maui, where Gonzaga was really struggling against Illinois' pressure. Jones came in and had the game of his life. Really won the game for GU. It was going to be a jump ball situation here. Ball will go to GU. And this pressure for Gonzaga is giving the Roadrunners all kinds of fits.
Jeremy Jones. About 35% of the offense so far in this game. You have to be impressed, Dan.
Well, he's taken what the game has given him. He hasn't tried to do too much.
Machimura. Clark. He pounces upwards at the basketball like a coiled snake.
Only the 3rd offensive rebound of the night for Gonzaga, 2nd for Clark. But if you're struggling shooting the ball, go find yourself some second chance opportunities.
And that is off of Holden. He's claiming the ball was deflected out of bounds.
And guys, this Holden's, I believe, his 6th turnover. This is a kid coming into tonight better than a 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. A guy who takes care of the ball. He has really struggled tonight against GU's pressure.
Big piece of it is Gonzaga's extended their own pressure 3/4 court. And at that top, you're looking at either Rui Hachimura or Brandon Clark, who's got good size and length.
I think Holden's just trying to do too much.
There's probably some of that. But it's just a lot of responsibility. It's similar to Josh. He's really the primary ball handler for CSU Bakersfield. And we've seen Josh struggle at times where he's had to handle most of the load off, with the ball handling against good defensive pressure.
Rui, he was not only fouled but held by Tajay Moore.
Mid pick and roll and gets the defense on his hip, holds that seal, and understands when you got him sealed and you get that catch, turn into that jump hook expecting contact. Rui to the line for 2.
No. 26-12 now. The Zags creating some space. 1-2 for Hachimura. Drive, but well short on that shot was Justin McCall. Gonzaga on an 11-0 run, and they have the ball back. Turnover number 11 for the Roadrunners. You heard Rui maybe. Come on. Wanting the ball on hand.
I would too if I could just bring it up and do this all by myself.
Left hand.
Dan can appreciate this more than either one of us, Greg, but sometimes you just give me the ball, get out of the way, and I think that's what you were hearing there.
But you want that out of Rui, and that's
Absolutely.
where you're seeing the growth. Freshman to sophomore, where he made a jump, but the big jump sophomore to junior year is he wants to be that guy.
Nice catch and finish by James Suber. He was either going to catch that or was going to wipe the nose off the front of his face. And now a chance for Joyner in transition. And the finish and a timeout call.
Bad angle on the entry pass by Perkins. You got to understand and know that you're being pressured, but defensively, the posts are getting after the three-quarter, not allowing any easy entry.
The bright lights of Spokane getting ready. New Year's Eve in the Inland Northwest. Gonzaga Hoops is brought to you by Toyota. Your local Toyota dealers are proud to support Gonzaga Athletics. For great deals on our best-selling models, visit buyatoyota.com. 28-16, number 7 Gonzaga. It's been a fist fight in this first half. 4:20 to play, and there is the head coach of Bakersfield. Dan, he's done some things in his career now.
Great coach. 2001 was coach of the year when he was at Ole Miss. I actually played for USA Basketball, a team that he was an assistant coach on. Got to know him a little bit there. Really good coach. He hangs his hat on the defensive end of the floor. He wants guys giving 100% effort at all times. And it's great to reconnect with him before the game. And I asked him a question. I said, look at your roster. You've got some Mississippi guys. He's got a nice backstory. Jarkel Joyner. His dad was Rod Barnes' barber back in Oxford, Mississippi.
Hey, there you go. Oh! Brandon Clark to the rim.
That's how you break a press. Get the ball in the middle, attack, and finish with a dunk.
That's how you break the stanchion. Happy New Year, Brandon Clark. And now the drive and finish. Jarkel Joyner.
You've seen the Roadrunners try to do that repeatedly. Go right after Clark and Hachimura. Force them to move their feet and guard the ball. Nice finish there from Joyner.
Clark even tried to do a little chin-up, I think, on that dunk. Thing of beauty.
And some zone here from the Roadrunners. Different look.
Here's Clark in the middle. Jumper. Tip back, Jeremy Jones. Hello, double digits.
Been as active as you've seen him throughout the year. He's providing a huge spark.
I'm not sure how the rotations are going to change when Tilly gets back. But I promise you this, Jones is going to be in that rotation. He makes a ton of big plays, winning plays for GU.
Perkins. Tipped out of bounds. Off of the Roadrunners. Gonzaga basketball with 2:52 to play here in the first half. And another look at it, your multi-care play of the game brought to you by Multi-Care Health System. Look at Rui to Clark. Little chin up.
Any kids out there watching, you get pressed. Get the ball in the middle of the zone. Look opposite. Rui doing just that. Clark, the recipient of the nice pass, doing what very few can, finishing above the rim like that.
Now, Brandon Clark has told me that he can jump so high that he can actually kiss the rim. Like, literally kiss it.
Really? I believe that.
Yeah. It's impressive. How many guys in history of this program could do that?
I don't know. I've never asked anybody that question.
Well, you know.
Well, I asked the question, how, you know, can you touch the top of the square?
Can you guys like that?
And he says, look, he says, the highest I've ever gotten is I've kissed the rim.
I could grab the rim. There's a little
like
difference.
right now in your dress shoes and your loafers?
I think going up would be enough of a problem. I think coming down is where the injury would occur.
You're only coming down an inch.
Still.
The Zags getting after it now.
Yeah, this press has just been impressive for Gonzaga. And the Roadrunners, you know, sometimes the best teams to press are the ones who like to press.
Yes.
They have the most trouble against it, and tonight that has been 11 turnovers for Bakersfield. Gonzaga has made them pay as well off of those turnovers. 16 points off of those turnovers now for GU. 10
on the shot clock. Joyner. Everything going to the rim right now for the Roadrunner, and what a hanger.
Don't want to get him going because he is a scorer.
Big 2.5 minutes here for the Roadrunners. Can they stay within striking distance going into the second half?
Joyner now with 6. Jones. Clark. Kispert open. Bang!
And a big-time pass out of the low block from Clark. Recognize the double team. That's a no-look cross-court pass to the open Kispert for the three-point shot.
Yeah, Kispert deserves some credit, though, by getting in Clark's line of sight. It's underrated value of the game is getting in the line of sight of the man who's getting doubled on a block.
Shot was missed. Clark bumped him with a body, and now he goes to work. And a chance for 3 for Brandon.
And a tough break there for the Roadrunners. Looked like Clark may have gotten away with the foul defensively. And here, just a bit of a broken play. Roadrunners lose sight of Clark, and you give him a head of steam. It's all but money around the rim.
Yeah, absolutely right. You either foul where he's not going to finish, put him on the line, make him earn it where he's not a great free throw shooter, or honestly, just get out of the way because he's going to, as we've seen tonight, go at that rim with a lot of force.
All of a sudden, a 14-point game, now 19. A minute and a half left. Where's the offense going to come from for the Roadrunners?
Joyner from 17 feet. And that's a couple of possessions in a row now where he's looked to score.
I said, don't let him get going. Averaged almost 37 a game in high school. I know it's a big jump, but once a scorer, always a scorer.
Speaking of scores, Norvell the miss. Hachimura, the offensive rebound and put back.
And the size inside of Hachimura and Clark is starting to wear down the Roadrunners inside. They just don't have, they have quickness, but they don't have the size or length to keep GU off the offensive glass.
And again, Joyner warming
they
up.
are searching a switch.
You don't see it. We haven't seen that a lot this year for GU, where teams have really tried to go at either Hachimura or Clark.
And look at him go after Norvell. He got it to Kispert. Kispert's shot is blocked. Great job there by James Suber. 30 seconds to play first half.
Chance essentially for the last shot here if you play it right for the Roadrunners.
Well, I just let Joyner go to work.
They're going to try to force another switch. And then let him go to work.
Clark pops out. 5 on the shot clock. Joyner shot for 3 is off. Jones with the rebound. Trying to get it to where he can get a shot off. Left it for Clark at the horn. And it goes off the glass. What awareness by to Brandon, and look at the runner. Clearly counts. What a fun first half. Assistant coach Brian Michelson joining us now. Coach, I tell you, I know you're going to look at it differently, but that was one of my favorite first halves of the season.
It was a little ragged, but we knew they were going to do that. Overall, I thought we took decent care of the ball. I didn't love the way we moved and got some actions, but super happy defensively. We didn't give them much on the offensive glass. They had to hit a lot of tough twos to get to 24 points. Really, really happy with our defense.
Brian, you look at Josh Perkins picking up 2 quick ones, and then there was a little bit of a lull offensively. What was the thought process on the bench with you guys trying to weather that storm?
Try and help Snacks, get him some nice calls. We got him downhill on a ball screen, and until Gino's back full, we know that we need Perk in the game to really help handle the ball. But I thought those other guys did a great job taking care of it, and Jeremy Jones was awesome.
Coach, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, fellas.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for your time. Well, gentlemen, 43-24. It took Gonzaga a little time to pull away, but they've created a lot of space now.
Yeah, it's been defense, defense, defense for GU.
And Jeremy Jones. 10 points for Jeremy, 13 for Rui. Clark now with 10. We're at the half in Spokane. 43-24 the score.
Great race for great rides.
And there's the carousel in downtown Spokane on a winter night. Number 7 Gonzaga leading CSU Bakersfield at the half, 43-24. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, and Richard Fox are about ready now to get it going here in the second half. Rui Hachimura led Gonzaga with 13 points. This Roadrunner team, guys, as we pointed out in the open, they won't quit. They're going to go right to the final horn.
Well, when you press the way they do and force turnovers at the rate that they've shown throughout the year, if you're GU, you can't relax. This is a Roadrunner team that can put a run together in a hurry with their defense.
Jarkel Joyner scored their final 10 points in that first half. It'll be Zag ball to begin. Hachimura. Rui, efficient first half, 13 points on 4 of 5 shooting. There's Clark inside, in deep, and a chance for 3.
You just have come to expect the efficiency of Rui, but also Brandon Clark. 4 of 7 in the first half, starts the second with a nice little slice cut and then a seal to a nice jump hook to the middle. But you talk about those two, they have been as consistent as you could hope for throughout this early season.
And Richard Clark just continues throughout the season to get position lower and lower and lower. It makes it easier.
Look, if you can get that catch as a big with both feet in the lane, it's hard to slow a guy down, as I believe we have the offensive foul here against Lee.
That's
right
a no-no.
Yeah, the right arm gets extended.
As you talked about it right off the top, Gray, this Bakersfield team is going to continue to pressure. This is an interesting look now. First 2 possessions, Rui has been the primary ball handler.
Step back, Norvell 3. Little James Harden showing up in Spokane.
So good at that. Kind of gets you leading as if he's going to drive, and then is able to step back and create a ton of separation on that jump shot.
That gets Zach Norvell to 8 points. Lob underneath, and that fell off the rim. Missed the shot, James Suber. And Rui with another rebound. His 3rd of the game. Free throw line jumper.
That's just automatic for Hachimura. I mean,
that's his shot, right?
Yeah, but look,
you got to defend that.
If you pressure him, he might go around you and dunk the ball. So you've got to pick one or the other. But still, it's just become automatic for Hachimura at the top of the key.
And look, he's so big, he's probably going to shoot over whoever comes out there anyway. Six on the shot clock. That won't go. Off by Holden, and the whistle goes. And we talked in our last broadcast about the players over the last 20 years that have scored better than 20 points a game. It was yourself, Dan, and Morrison. And did Wiltshire get over 20 points a game?
Wiltshire is nearly 22. Olenek
was right
21.
there.
Yeah.
He's different than all of those players I just mentioned, isn't he? Different type of scorer.
He is, and I think a big piece of it is because he can score inside out. He can get himself to the free throw line. You know, I think Adam could score probably in more ways than anybody in the history of this program, but I mean, he is such a unique player at the college level because of his mid-range game, which is simply a lost art in basketball these days.
Great movement. Perkins short on the shot. Runs down. He and Joyner collide. And there were sparks flying there. Some good sportsmanship demonstrated by Perkins and Joyner. But there you see the physicality that has been part of this ball game since the opening tip.
Joyner just got their first crafty play, tried to tip it up ahead to get an easy 2 points. I think had that connected, the officials may have let that one go.
It's a 26-point game, and these guys still doing that. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Travel.
13 turnovers now on the evening for Bakersfield. They only averaged 13 a game on the season. You couple that with the fact that they only shot it 35% from the field in the first half. Makes for a tough go.
That says something about Gonzaga's defense.
Yeah.
You know, this is a Roadrunner team that shoots about 35% from three coming into tonight. 1 of 9 there in the first half. I mean, Gonzaga, when they're focused on defense, they can be as good as anybody given the length, their ability to switch, put ball pressure, and we've seen that now for a couple weeks.
Rui. 10 on the shot clock for Perkins. Clark, a bit out of control and taken away. Here's Joyner. Stop, pop, connect. Sophomore out of Oxford, Mississippi. Looks like the real deal for the Roadrunners.
You said it, averaged, what, 37 in high school, coming off his career high 24.
Clark blocked from behind, but got it back. Springboards to the rim and draws the foul. Love this guy.
It's his second jump. As explosive as he is off that initial jump, it's his ability to come down and essentially go back up with the same elevation. He's so good at that.
And that's one of the things that is really intriguing to the NBA scouts as you see his name begin to pop up on some possible draft boards. You know, at the next level, he's not going to be a scorer. He is going to be a guy who you look at and say, hey, go get me in as many rebounds as you can in this next 4 minutes. And he, because of that second jump that you talk about, could be really good at that.
Well, as a rim runner off of pick and rolls, you know, defensively, you got to think he can guard more than one position at the next level.
Rim runner sounds like a movie coming to a theater near you. 52-26 now.
See, that's where...
Nice job for Justin Edler-Davis to clean it up, Dan.
That's where Clark's second jump covers up his initial mistake as Norvell turns it over. He jumps because he's so excited to block the shot, but his second jump gets him back in the play.
Holden had 6 turnovers in the first half. And now whistling a foul away from the ball. Is this on Clark? On Norvell. Out of bounds. Roadrunner basketball. That was on Norvell, his first. Joyner. Watch him. Edler-Davis drives on Clark. Somehow got it to the rim.
Yeah, that's good offense from Edler-Davis. Kept Clark close, attached to his body. Never really allowed Clark to get his feet under him and try to block that shot up top as we have a foul here away from the ball. I believe, is that McNeil?
Yes, Kevin McNeil. Kispert's lucky, though. He didn't kind of pushed away with that right arm. I thought it was on him initially.
Well, that's what you're going to see a lot of teams. When they pressure, they're going to try to funnel the ball in Kispert's hands, make him handle it with pressure and make decisions. It's still a learning part of his game.
Wait, talk to me, BC. Go one. Push through.
And out of the game is Darius Williams. And he's replaced by number 25, Darren Person. Clark sets the screen. Here's Kispert. Rui. Norvell, corner. And now a track meet, Joyner. Oh, high off the glass. I love watching this guy play.
He is not afraid.
No. He's a fun player. Norvell again from the corner. That one's through.
Yeah, as good as Joyner's been offensively, that's a mistake to leave his feet to challenge a jump shot. Perkins with a simple one dribble inside the three-point line. Norvell wide open on the wing because the help had to rotate over.
Zach, the fourth Zag into double figures now with 11 points. He joins Jones, Hachimura, and Clark. Joyner. Bang!
Go get it.
17 now for Jarkel Joyner.
Vic now's having flashbacks right now.
Perkins blocked from behind by Edler Davis. Jarkel Joyner doing all he can do for CSU Bakersfield right now. He's got 17 points in the game. And watch this run out. Fighting through almost the entire Zag defense to get that to the bucket. And then over Norvell. Bang. Zags still lead by 20, though.
Today.
Here's what's going on around the West Coast Conference. San Francisco drops to 12-2. Gonzaga taking over the lead in the standings. And Pacific, tell you, they're a team. They've got some players down there now. They can put it together, right?
Davis doing a great job in Stockton, getting his guys to play with a lot of confidence and be fearless, because remember, they're still on scholarship restriction due to NCAA violations a couple years ago.
And there you see league play begins on Thursday. It'll start on Saturday for Gonzaga as they open up against the Broncos of Santa Clara, who frankly have been playing pretty good basketball. They've won 5 in a row as Hachimura trying to get it to the rim, but he might get credited with an assist.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'd give it to him.
I know you would.
Hey, it's home building.
It is the holidays, right?
It is. Rui and Clark meeting at the focal point of that shot. And that one falls off. And Norvell out of there. Tough luck for Darren Person. He had a couple of point-blank looks. And there's Perkins in transition.
You see, even when Clark's not in the play, over the course of a game, guys start thinking about it. I've got to get this up off the glass quickly. You rush shots. Just sped up enough where you start missing some of those bunnies, and Clark's not even in the play.
Durham has it poked away by Clark. What a save. Norvell got it up to Perkins. Josh scores the ball. That's team chemistry there. Holden. Wow, is that a foul, a travel, or what?
A lot of contact.
It's a foul on Josh Perkins. Jeremy Jones checking into the game for Gonzaga. And he'll replace Josh Perkins, who picked up his third.
Fourth, I believe. Correct.
Is that fourth on Josh? Yeah. It is fourth on Josh.
See Jones here. What he's done tonight, 17 minutes. Another big effort off the bench for Gonzaga. Quite frankly, the rest of the season stats are fine, but it's not indicative of some of the plays he makes every night.
He's usually early in rotation. He's great on the weak side, maybe stunt in rotation.
Yeah, he makes the pass to the pass, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he gets the hockey assist. He understands scouting report, and he executes it.
Joyner, great space.
You want to talk about scouting report right now is don't let Jarkel Joyner get the ball. 19 points now in about the last 10 minutes.
Would you ever put Brandon Clark on him and just say,
he's been on him on switches, and he's gotten what he's wanted.
Norvell.
And Zach Norvell getting what he wants. Maybe a little bit of a carrying inside out there, but he gets himself back on balance extremely well.
Philip Petrushev will be checking in for Gonzaga next stop. And Joyner again hunting a shot at Rui. Joyner again. 10 on the shot clock. Hachimura hounding him. Joyner shot away. Oh! Loose ball. Norvell on the ground. Timeout, Gonzaga. Norvell asking the crowd to get into it. Zach's got 14. Feeling his shots here. That's a deep step back. Three-point shot goes. Tonight, Smiles of Dental. Find the easiest way to take care of your smile at DeltaDentalWA.com. With easy online tips and tools to keep you and your smile strong all season long. Brought to you by Delta Dental of Washington, proud supporters of healthy smiles and your Gonzaga Bulldogs. It is a time to smile in Zachville. What was the stat that I had earlier? 34-4 in the year of 2018. 32-4. 32-4.
See, that's what it
January 1
that's what it feels
now.
like. It sounds like when someone's listening to you. Good job, Dan.
We work well together, Richard.
Yeah. Yes, 2 peas in a pod.
Oh, missed Clark on the roll.
Oh, Petrushev wanted to take that shot. Oh, offensive foul. I don't know about that one. Edler Davis, he's got a skill of his own.
And what would that be?
Flopping.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you saw another angle of that, Clark's right arm may have extended.
Oh, okay. I'll give that one to you guys. Clear flop. 12 minutes to play. Joyner again. Durham into the corner. 5 on the shot clock now. Quick shot by Durham is off. Loose ball kicked out of bounds. And it's Roadrunner basketball. And we've got a timeout with 11:45 to play. Gonzaga up 65-37, trying to get to 13-2. And welcome back. Hey, talk about winning. Zags are pretty good in the classroom, and I know this is very, very important to Coach Few, but 3.31 team GPA, 12 straight semester above 3.0, and Mr. Crandall.
He's happy about it.
Yeah, perfect 4.0.
How about this? I believe Jones, Crandall, and Perkins all have their undergraduate.
And by the way, Gino's been cleared to play, and he has not had a full practice yet. We expect him to find time on Saturday.
This would be a difficult comeback game for a point guard because of the pressure that Bakersfield applies.
I agree.
Give him a little bit more time to get his feet underneath him in practice and get ready for conference play.
And that's why here's Joyner for 3. Boy, I thought that was in. Loose ball, another foul called, but
it is so physical when the shot goes up. As Joyner continues to try to create something offensively, just outside of Joyner, who's got 19 points, 9 of 14 from the field. Nobody else for this CSU Bakersfield team has been able to get it going offensively.
But guess who checked back in and immediately had the assignment? Jeremy Jones.
Oh, that's right.
good looking runner from Durham. 65-39. Here's Kispert. Norvell.
That's where Gonzaga is so difficult to guard. They get in that continuity pick and roll where the ball really gets moving side to side. You get a back cut and then into a dribble handoff or a pick and roll, and there's so much movement. If you're a little bit unaware on the weak side, it leads to a layup.
Joyner now with 19 points.
Jones off the bench, as you said, Dan, to try to slow him down.
Durham shot too hard. Offensive rebound and putback is good, and a chance for 3 now for James Suber.
Petrushiev has been just a step slow this evening. That time not rooting Suber out.
You know what?
Block out.
He's got to take his mentality offensively, which is as the ball's moving his way, he initiates contact to try to get position offensively. It's the same principle defensively. I've got to have a feel for when the shot might go up, where a guy's driving. I've got to initiate the contact to try to get position on that defensive glass. Right now, he's standing straight up, and everybody, you know, the offensive players want to initiate.
There's another example.
Yeah. He's got to go find a body.
Durham. And this foul is on the Roadrunners.
You know, to finish your point for you, Richard, is you block out.
I thought he was
but
done.
Then you finish the block out.
So
you hold him off.
I thought I made a pretty compelling point. I was done, but thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Point guards always like to help.
Okay, that's what. Okay.
That's how everybody else feels.
Yeah. Norvell. Long. Oh, they left him open. Surprised he didn't just stop and shoot that.
He's got the matchup he wants right here. Petrushiev on an island. There's no reason for a ball screen.
Got around Petrushiev and then the foul. And Joyner will go to the line. So what did Petrushiev do right? What did he do wrong there?
Well, there's nothing that he could necessarily help. I mean, Joyner is a difficult cover whether you're a big or a guard. That is one of the hardest things, is to guard somebody downhill that has a handle and a quickness like he does. Joyner got by, and then he did a great job kind of just stopping on a dime and creating that contact as Petrushiev tried to close the gap from behind.
Part of that has to be on the help side. As that screen's coming up, that defender has to let him know. And he's got to force Joyner to use it, because that's where the switch is.
But look, there was a 99% chance that play was not going to end well for Philip Petrushiev. Right, though? I mean, he's a freshman going against that guy, too.
I can relate all too well.
Yes. Clark. Rui, 3-ball, bang!
So you wouldn't be able to tell. He has historically struggled with a three-point shot this year. He has really dialed in that jump shot. And again, he doesn't have to take a ton of them now. 9 of 19 for the year. Just has to keep defenses honest.
Rui now with 18 points. Durham's 3 is off. Jones with another rebound. That's his 8th to go along with 10 points. Jeremy Jones. Oh!
A lot of contact there.
Yeah. He was clobbered by Tajay Moore. Number 3.
Probably a little bit of a frustration foul.
Jeremy Jones. Oh!
A lot of contact there. They might want to look at that again. There's more fouls out. That's clear contact above the neck.
Was I hearing myself there?
Yeah, you were.
Okay, good. I thought I sounded good.
Yeah, the officials are going to take another look here. Billy makes contact
this
with
was
the
a
ball.
flagrant foul?
Yeah, makes contact with the ball, but still.
Jeremy's lucky he didn't get in the face, frankly. I mean, that was.
I think he may have gotten clipped on the neck. He comes down here. Moore comes over. And
wow.
I think that'll be.
Oh, they get a chance to look at it. Flagrant 1 again is excessive and or unnecessary. Flagrant 2 is severe or extreme, putting a player in a vulnerable position. Obviously, the officials have a chance to take multiple looks at it. It's going to be at least a flagrant 1.
Well, now that we take another look, and Moore.
Oh, that looks like.
I don't think it's malicious. I think he's trying to lay the hard foul, but.
I would agree. I think it's a flagrant 1.
Intent is less of a concern at this point, I believe. You're the flagrant foul expert here, Dan. I think they're still reviewing here, but just a frustrating night for the Roadrunners. And I think you saw it right here kind of come out.
Yeah, either way, Tajay Moore is fouled out. That was his 5th foul. Listen to this crowd. It's festive. It's the holidays.
It is.
It's New Year's Eve, Dan Dickow.
Students aren't here.
How was 2018 for you?
It was great. Yeah, it was fantastic.
How are the barbershops doing?
Barbershops are
Breaking
doing well.
it in? Common foul called on more. Either way, number 5.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about this rule. Is it's not as if it's a clear cut. It's so subjective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go with it, Richard.
Good.
Just go with the flow. Jeremy Jones with 10 points, 8 rebounds. Let me ask you guys this. Is there anybody over there on that bench that prior to the season started, if you said, look, you're going to be 13-2 headed to conference play, and you're not going to have Killian Tilly the entire way, they'd jump at it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the preseason schedule they had, the Maui Invitational, playing Tennessee and Carolina, UW, who was preseason top 25.
Well, think about it. They went into the media, their non-conference after Maui without Crandall as well.
Yeah.
So, talking to the staff after Crandall's injury, as Thompson knocks at the jump shot, they were concerned. I mean, lack of depth, and Tilly does so much for them. I really think it's been a tremendous non-conference run for them as they head in the league.
And when you beat Duke, you just got to tell yourself that, look, if we just beat them, we can beat any of these teams. I think it gave them just extreme confidence early in the season. Here's Rui. And he's fouled by Cartrell Thompson, number 35. And Rui will go to the line where he's 5 of 6 in this game and has 18 points.
That play right there was a perfect example to me of the patience with which he plays at now. He gets the pass thrown up over the top. He sees the defense converging. A little head fake to get them completely up in the air. Gets himself to the line. It's a simple play, but not enough players are able to execute that. Another ho-hum 20-point game there for Rui.
Thinking that, like, I know at the office, then they go get 20.
Holden. Durham over Clark somehow.
I'll tell you what, he will not stop being himself, and that's being aggressive to shoot.
Rui is fouled by Joyner. 7:52 to play in Spokane. The final night of 2018 in the Inland Northwest. It's a beautiful. This is brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. Zag fans, show your Bulldog pride with your Go Zags debit card only at Numerica. And you're back in Spokane. Number 7 Gonzaga leading CSU Bakersfield 73-45. Here's what the standings look like on the eve of the start of West Coast Conference games. Gonzaga leading the way. This score holds up. They'll be 13-2. LMU at 12-2. So is USF. San Diego at 11-4. Pacific at 10-5. I guess the biggest surprises for me are St. Mary's and BYU. One with 6 losses. One with 7 losses. San Francisco's got an entire team back. That was a good team last year. I'm shocked that St. Mary's and BYU have that many losses.
Well, St. Mary's lost so many players. Jock Landale,
I understand who they lost, but they've always reloaded.
Yeah, exactly.
Hachimura. And out of bounds will be Gonzaga basketball. The other thing, a lot of big wins in the West Coast Conference this year.
Quite a few wins over Pac-12 teams. But what I think you're seeing is, the coaching transitions that happened 3 and 4 years ago. Damon Stoudemire, Mike Dunlap, Herb Sendick, Damon Stoudemire. Those guys now have had a chance to implement their culture, their philosophy, and it's starting to pay dividends. I did say Damon Stoudemire twice.
Yeah, Terry Porter's funny.
Yeah.
Is he coaching 2 teams? Wow, he's good. He must be really busy.
He gave me a look out of the side of his eye.
I was just confused.
It's all right, Dan. We know what you meant.
Yeah.
Again, it's the eggnogs. They're getting to you.
Hey, we were teammates in the NBA with the Blazers. I wanted to give him a lot of credit for what he's doing at the college level.
Okay. And what is going on in the pack? Steve Alford fired today.
What is that?
4 NCAA appearances, 3 Sweet 16s. Arizona State drops out of the top 25.
Here's my question for you. So what is the expectation at UCLA, and who can live up to that?
Nobody. I mean, 3 Sweet 16s last 5 years. I mean, most programs, that's success.
And he recruits as Norvell gets pinged with the offensive foul. But I just don't understand, I mean, what's the narrative as you go out and look for another coach?
What coach might want that job?
If you don't go to the Final Fours every other year and win national championships every third year, it's not good enough. I mean, you've got to give a guy time. It's not as if he doesn't get, players that they don't have results. Am I wrong?
McCall.
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, the expectation at UCLA is Final Fours and championships. They've had nice recruiting classes over the last couple of years as Josh Perkins now gets into double figures after that 3. But if you can't get the high-level recruits to gel together and play within the philosophy and the structure of a system you're trying to put together, it doesn't matter what kind of talent you have. It's going to be hard to be successful.
But with the firing of him today, what they're saying is that, look, we don't think you're going to get to the NCAA tournament with Alford. If we make a change now, maybe we have enough talent to still get there. Because why do you make a change in the middle of the season otherwise?
First time they've ever done it. 100-year history there. The first time they've fired a coach was... Yeah, I just don't know. To your point, Dan, maybe it's just, they see the fact that it's not coming together and they want to make a change, but...
Well, but if that's the assumption that you're making, then you give Steve Alford no credit for him getting those other teams deep into the tournament.
I'm not saying I agree with the assumption.
But if that's their assumption, then they're not giving him any credit for the success they've had under his tenure. Strange deal. Again, it just goes to show you what a cutthroat business this coaching thing is.
And it also shows you that the Pac-12 is not a very good basketball conference at the moment. And it's been a number of years since they've played at a high level. I know Oregon was in the Final Four a couple years ago, but that's really been the exception.
Wow. These two teams still going at each other, man. There's Hachimura.
McCall wasn't quite sure if he wanted to go for it.
He says, I will get out of the way.
Holy smokes, Rui. Eight on the shot clock. Joyner.
Wow. This kid is
and he stares down Jones.
Well, he creates space. He's shifty. He changes speeds, and then he's got such a high release for a smaller guard.
Well, not only where he lets it go, but he elevates on the jump shot, too.
Yeah.
He's just tied his career high for 2 straight games as Joyner. Rui missing on the 3. Greg Lee loses the handle. Jones is there to take it away. Guys, we were talking about in the open whether or not this is the best offensive team that Gonzaga's had. We got 5 players again in double figures tonight. That's 15 straight games now with at least 4 double-digit scores. Prior to this, going back to 2004, the best in any season was 11 straight games with at least 4 players scoring in double digits. Now that's going back a long time.
No, it just shows you the embarrassment of riches offensively for Gonzaga and Mark Few. So many guys can score. Petrushiev knocks down a little floater. They literally have 4, 5, maybe even 6 guys that can go get you 20. Most college teams would like to have 2.
Yeah.
And this might be key. 12 of the last 13 NCAA losses for Gonzaga in the tournament, they had less than 4 scores in double figures. So when they score, they get at least 4 players into double digits. Not only are they scoring and winning in games like this one, but they're winning in the NCAA tournament when they're able to do that. And they've got a team now that can do it from every position, and they're going to go 3 or 4 deep. They can do it.
I think a lot of what that says is when you get to the NCAA tournament, there is such great preparation and scouting by the opposing coaching staff. If they try to take somebody or something away, the next guy's ready and able to step up and make plays and produce.
Well, the thing is, all those guys that can score the ball are willing to share it too.
Yeah.
You know, so guys may have an off night if Norvell's not. You know, he's developed his game where if he's not having a good night offensively, he still rebounds for you. He's really become their second best playmaker. You know, on and on down the list. All these guys can do other things besides scoring. It's not what their games are entirely about.
There's nobody this year forcing the ball, forcing the game.
Jones is everywhere.
But that's really been the signature of Gonzaga basketball over a couple of decades now, right?
I mean, occasionally you'll get, you know, as you mentioned with Rui, a 20-point-ish scorer, but the balance is what this program has been built on.
But again, that's why he's different, Dan, I think, than you and Mo and even Wilcher. He gets 20, but it's not a high-volume shot. You don't look back at the game and say, wow, Rui was just going off. Like, it's so well distributed.
You know who it reminds me of in that way is Olynyk. Olynyk could go get that for you, but everything was within the offense. It never felt forced.
I mean, Dan would get his 35 and quit shooting.
LMU.
Well, the Zags are up big. 32. Rui Hachimura putting on a show here on New Year's Eve at the Kennel. Gonzaga well on their way to the 13th win of the year. We'll be back on the other side, folks.
Go credit card.
Player of the game presented by A to Z Rental. No job is too big or too small with 8 convenient locations. We run everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. Tonight it's Jeremy Jones. He set the tone early. He was everywhere.
On the offensive glass, defensively, causing havoc. 11 points, 10 rebounds, second double-double this season. And when Gonzaga needed a spark early after Perkins picked up those 2 fouls, they found it with Jeremy Jones.
4 or 5 shooting. Also had a block shot, an assist. Tell you, you know, this is obviously a 29-point lead right now. This doesn't feel like an easy win to me. It's been a physical game, and 2 teams that have just really gone at each other.
They've had to be on point. Gonzaga has just given the ball pressure from the Roadrunners as Kispert tees up the 3 and misses. In other words, they haven't been able to. There's been no stretches where they've had to coast, or been able to coast rather, because even despite the score issue, Bakersfield continues to play hard. I think it's been a really good test. The score is not indicative of how hard they've had to work. I agree.
Finally.
Year 5 or 6. Yeah. Bodies all over the floor.
Kispert and Williams down. Gonzaga ball.
Here we go.
Hey, but let me take a minute. Happy New Year, Dan Dicko.
Yeah, you too.
Happy New Year, Richard Fox. I know we give each other a hard time, but you two are the best.
Hey, I mean, enjoy working with both of you guys.
I mean,
you get the best seat of the house.
Zach say, man. Wouldn't want to be sitting with anybody else. Simple ball fake for Jones.
Ayayi
leads to the wide open 3 for Ayayi in the corner. It's those little plays. It's simple basketball.
I tell you, that kid's been hitting at practice a lot too. His shot's coming.
He's so young. Last year, 17 years old, moved over here from France, redshirted, and now you're starting to see him get comfortable playing here, but also just living in the States as a young person.
It's got to be such a hard transition.
I couldn't have lived 10 years at 18, 19 years old.
Got that off before the shot clock violation. There's Ayayi. Foster, 3-pointer. Joel keeps it alive. And he'll shoot free throws. 2:03 to play. Let's throw some love towards Brock Salzman as well. statistician extraordinaire. I think he's been on my side since we started this thing. And I don't know, it's like 18 or 19 years now I've been doing Gonzaga basketball.
He's got a lot of patience.
This dude's been over here handing me numbers.
Can you imagine what it would have been like without him for you? Oh, my goodness.
I know. Brock Saul's been a star. You don't know him, you don't hear from him, but he's constantly feeding us facts, figures, numbers, stories. He's the guy. In the truck, we got the great Chauncey Jones, been our producer now forever. Tom Holmberg, I think when he's awake, he's in there. Thanks to him. A lot of very fine people. Spend a lot of energy putting these games on, and we thank them all as we get ready for a brand new season, brand new year in 2019. Thank you to everyone. And a foul called inside, I believe, on Jack Beach, number 2. Zag's upcoming schedule brought to you by Alaska Airlines. Enjoy the most nonstops from the West Coast to the amazing places Alaska Airlines flies, connecting Spokane to over 100 destinations, including Hawaii and Mexico. Book now at alaskaair.com. And the season begins in the West Coast Conference for Gonzaga on Saturday against Santa Clara, home against Pacific. And then they go on the road January 12th at San Francisco. And I know they haven't talked about it publicly, but I think privately that's the game they want to have Gino and Killian back and have had some experience, a good week of practice, maybe a game under their belt, so they're ready to go to USF.
You know, it's one thing to get them healthy, but they are going to need a few games to get those guys incorporated. You know, it will throw off the rotations a bit. Everyone will have to adjust to some degree. You want to make sure that's dialed in as soon as possible. So I'd have to think by next week, and you're going to see both those kids on the floor. And to your point, Greg, that San Francisco game is going to be really the first big game they're going to have in WCC play against a team that's probably going to be able to give them a hard time.
You guys played at War Memorial. Like that place is rough.
It's an awesome gym, too. It's a great place to play.
A lot of history.
There's Killian and Gino sitting on the bench together. They're chomping at the bit. I know Gino's been cleared to play. Killian has not. Killian did tell me he hopes to play on Saturday, but we'll see.
He was warming up and jumping around with the guys, so hopefully that's a good sign as Jeremy Jones gets a round of applause that's well-deserved.
That may have been for Matt Lang, who just came in the game as well. Freshman out of Portland. A minute 10 to play. Ayayi guarding on the post. And a much more physical Darren Person scores. Under a minute to go.
This crowd is chanting, "We want tacos." One more made three means tacos for the crowd.
Ayayi out to Foster for three. Here's the home run ball. Persons can't catch up to it. Gonzaga ball with 37 seconds to play, 30 on the shot clock, obviously.
See this Bakersfield team, there's no quitting them.
No,
Young,
they're still making
ball
defensive changes here.
They're still out three-quarter court pressure. And this is a learning experience for these guys.
Ayayi. Here's Lang. Lang, deep three. Bang! Hello, tacos! And that's going to do it. 89-54 the final. Gonzaga 33-4 in 2018. 13-2 on this season. They head to the West Coast Conference schedule and the year 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year's from all of us here at KHQ, Root Sports, and Zagville. For Dick Alf, Fox, I'm Heister. Good night.